Yo, people, YouTubers, how are we? Righto, quick reading from Atlas Shrugged. This is a really cool section. It's short, but the discussion around it, I think, is interesting. So let's get to that. She smiled. I know this is a place where one employs nothing but aristocrats for the lousiest kind of jobs. They're all aristocrats, that's true, said Wyatt, because they know that there's no such thing as a lousy job, only lousy men who don't care to do it. The roughneck was watching them from above, listening with curiosity. She glanced up at him. He looked like a truck driver, so she asked, "What were you outside?" A professor of comparative philosophy, I don't even know that word, philology. What's that? I suppose. No, ma'am, he answered. I was a truck driver, he added. But that's not what I wanted to remain. Ellis Wyatt was looking at the place around them with a kind of youthful pride, eager for acknowledgement. It was the pride of a host at a formal reception in a drawing room, and the eagerness of an artist at the opening of his show in a gallery. She smiled and asked, pointing at the machinery, "Shale oil?" "Uh-huh." "That's the process which you were working to develop while you were on Earth." She said it involuntarily, and she gasped a little at her own words. He laughed. "While I was in hell, yes. I'm on Earth now." "How much do you produce?" 200 barrels a day. A note of sadness came back into her voice. "It's the process by which you once intended to fill 5 tank trains a day." "Dagny," he said earnestly, pointing at his tank. 1 gallon of it is worth more than a train full back there in hell. Because this is mine, all of it, every single drop of it, to be spent on nothing but myself." He raised his smudged hand, displaying the greasy stains as a treasure, and a black drop on the tip of his finger flashed like a gem in the sun. "Mine," he said. "Have you let them beat you into forgetting what that word means and what it feels like? You should give yourself a chance to relearn it." "You're hidden in a hole in the wilderness," she said bleakly, "and you're producing 200 barrels of oil, when you could have flooded the world with it. What for? To feed the looters? No, to earn the fortune you deserve." "But I'm richer now than I was in the world. What's wealth but the means of expanding one's life? There's 2 ways one can do it, either by producing more or by producing it faster. And that's what I'm doing. I'm manufacturing time." "What do you mean?" "I'm producing everything I need. I'm working to improve my methods, and every hour I save is an hour added to my life. It used to take me 5 hours to fill that tank. It now takes 3. The 2 I saved are mine, as pricelessly mine as if I moved my grave 2 further hours away for every 5 I've got. If it's 2 hours released from one task to be invested in another, 2 more hours in which to work, to grow, to move forward. That's the savings account I'm hoarding. Is there any sort of safety vault that could protect this account in the outside world? But what space do you have for moving forward? Where's your market?" He chuckled. "Market? I now work for use, not for profit. My use, not the looter's profit. Only those who add to my life, not those who devour it, are my market. Only those who produce, not those who consume, can ever be anybody's market. I deal with the life givers, not with the cannibals." Funny she uses that word. "If my oil takes less effort to produce, I ask less of the men to whom I trade it for the things I need. I add an extra span of time to their lives with every gallon of oil that they burn. And since they're men like me, they keep inventing faster ways to make the things they make. So every one of them grants me an added minute, hour, or day with the bread I buy from them, with the clothes, the lumber, the metal." He glanced at Galt. "An added year with every month of electricity I purchase. That's our market, and that's how it works for us. But that was not the way it worked in the outer world. Down what drain were they poured out there, our days, our lives, and our energy, into what bottomless, futureless sewer of the unpaid for? Here, we trade achievements, not failures, values, not needs. We're free of one another, yet we all grow together. Wealth, Dagny. What greater wealth is there than to own your own life and to spend it on growing? Every living thing must grow. It can't stand still. It must grow or perish. Look, he pointed at a plant fighting upward from under the weight of a rock, a long gnarled stem contorted by an unnatural struggle, with drooping yellow remnants of unformed leaves and a single green shoot thrust upward to the sun with the desperation of a last spent inadequate effort. That's what they're doing to us back there in hell. Do you see me submitting to it? No, she whispered. Do you see him submitting? He pointed at Galt. God, no. Then don't be astonished by anything you see in this valley. Okay, so that's the part that I'm reading for this one. And again, relating to everything that's happening now, I think it's really cool because you've got so many people that are producing and making really, really cool things these days. Or this book again, Ayn Rand, however you pronounce her name, Atlas Shrugged. But you've got these people that are creating all these rules and restrictions and bloody house prisons now, where you're not allowed to do it. Everything's about what you're not allowed to do, not what you can do. Not encouraging you to create, not encouraging you to produce, not encouraging you to become more. And I love the last bit of that. It must grow or perish. Every living thing must grow. It can't stand still. It must grow or perish. And that's true for everything in nature. If something's not growing, it's dying. You don't get to just stand still. Things that stand still and don't grow and don't transform are dead. Okay? If something's growing and moving, it's alive, and that's life. And that's why this concept's amazing, because people who are producers and wanting to grow, they want to do more. They want to add more. They don't want to just stop and do nothing. You know, it's not the nature of producers. It's not the nature of manufacturers, industrialists, capitalists. You want to create, you want to add, because you want to create more wealth for yourself, of course, but as a flow-on effect of that, because you're dealing with other people, you have to create something that other people want. So by improving your life, you're in turn flowing on and improving the things around you. It's the same with anything in nature. You look at anything that grows, you observe a tree. A tree grows. It's giving a purpose to the soil and the nutrients in the soil. It's bringing it up through its roots and creating something real, something that birds can live in, something that, like possums or owls or whatever else, it can live in, creates homes for them. And then the birds come and live there. And what they do is they eat the fruit or the seeds from that. And then what they do is they get to spread the seeds of the tree, and the tree gets to grow elsewhere. So they're all working together, and it's like this, they're all being incredibly selfish in what they're doing. The tree is going to exist whether or not there's a bird there, but it's not going to shun the bird for being there, and it recognizes that the bird actually is providing a benefit to the tree as well. And that's what this community, these people that got fed up. I don't want to ruin the book, but hey, go and read it, because there is so much value in this book, so much value. But these people that are creating things in the world that we live in, this would be people with businesses, people that are creative, whether it be art, whether it be music, whether it be a mechanic, whether it be a business owner, whether it be an entrepreneur, people that are actually doing real tangible things, producing stuff and services that other people want to consume, and that people choose to consume. And what the government's doing now is just trying to force everyone to only do certain things, or it's saying you're only allowed to operate if you do X, Y, Z. Right? You're only allowed to serve people who have done X, Y, Z, and that is incredible overreach and central control and central planning. And it leads to the destruction, because these people that want to create, if you just leave them to their devices to just do their thing, they end up benefiting everyone around them because that's the way it works. By benefiting themselves, if they want to grow in terms of wealth, and money is the means in which they do that, you have to be creating things not only that you enjoy doing if you want to have a fulfilling life, but that other people want to consume. Because if you're not doing that, no one's going to consume it, no one's going to watch it, no one's going to want to have anything to do with it, and you're going to be broke. All right. And you're going to be poor. And if you're someone who likes being wealthy or wants to be wealthy, then if one thing's not working, you change nature, right? Adapt or die. So you adapt, you create something else, or you tweak it, or you make it better. And that's what this thing's about, and I love it. And while there's a lot of things that are happening now that are very upsetting, the future that it paints in here is super exciting. Like, can you imagine? I was with a mate today, and we were kicking a footy around, just for the enjoyment of it, and it was so much fun. We had a mad chat, and it was cool. Like, we were practicing new things. We're having a bit of a discussion about this. And I was telling him a little bit about this book that I'm reading, and how these producers, or this whole system that we're sort of in, and he's trying to work out how he's going to run his business. He's only just started his business, branched out on his own recently. I think it's not even 12 months, about 6 months now for him. And maybe it's a little bit longer. I don't know. This year's a blur to me. But I was talking to him about that, and I said, look, my decision, I don't even know if I'd go back and teach in person. If they're going to make it too difficult for me to go and do that and teach in person, why bother? Why do it? I don't need the money. And the other thing with this is, the reason that you want to go and work and you want to become wealthy is so that you can actually use that wealth to do cool stuff. But if you're not allowed to do cool stuff, why would you care about being wealthy? There's no point anymore. It's aimless. It's like there's just no point. So if they take that away in their system, then you can try and bash your head against the wall, or you can do all these things that are completely against who you are as a person, which I think is one of the worst things to do, when you actually know who you are, and then you make sacrifices to that because other people are demanding of you. That's complete betrayal of yourself, which I think is one of the worst things you can do. And I would never do that personally, unless it was something, if someone had a gun to, like, someone that I really love's head or something, and said, you have to do this. Can I fight them? Probably not. Am I going to take that chance, or am I just going to make this decision at this point in time? But my decision now isn't, it's not really, I mean, it's going to affect them more than it affects me. I get nothing from, they're giving us handouts and making us all welfare bludgers at the moment, which I'm definitely taking what I can there, and investing it straight away. It's gone shares, it's gone stocks, or it's gone gold, or it's gone silver. I got to preserve the wealth, because they're just printing money out of thin air. They're making it a joke. I enjoy the process of going through and trading value with people, and people being like, yeah, cool, you're doing something really worthwhile. Here's something that I value, and this is how much I value your work. And I'm like, awesome. Like, really cool. It's a good feeling when people just hand it to you because they're trying to manipulate and control the system. It devalues everything that you're doing, in my opinion. And I don't know. I just don't agree with so much that's happening, and I sort of look at it and you're like, well, look how hard they're making everything. I know a lot of people are just going to be like, is it really worth it? And then you look at why you're doing it. And I think this is a really important thing, where he talks about the wealth, and she says, notice how it's a process. Yeah, this part. It's a process by which you once intended to fill 5 tank trains a day. Dagny, he said, earnestly pointing at the tank. 1 gallon of it is worth more than a train full back there in hell. because this is mine, all of it, every single drop of it, to be spent on nothing but myself. That idea that it's the idea of going out and working something and creating something and knowing that you get the rewards for your effort, not other people. It doesn't get taken from you. You're not told that you're not able to do it. So for me, I'd much prefer, and like I love doing this stuff. I love building stuff and creating stuff with my hands. I'd rather just go to a block of land and build like a mud brick house, or go and dig a big hole and make a dam, or experiment with some different platforms, practice some building, and just cut some trees down, design different things, and create that way. Because it's genuinely exciting for me, because it's the same sentiment. It's mine. I get to keep it. I benefit from it. Whereas at the moment, anything that I seem to do, or anything that I'm thinking that I want to do in my current business, is like, it's like a waste of time. It's impossible to do. Or for me to be able to do it, I have to completely trash everything that I believe in and everything that I stand for. And I wouldn't do that. So by not participating in the system, these people that are trying to control everything, they end up crumbling, because there's nothing there for them. They're thieves. They are the lowest scum in the world. But the crazy thing is, they only exist in the way that they do because the people that produce and the people that create allow them to exist. They have no power except the power that they the only power they have comes from the people that they're attempting to manipulate and dictate. And I just, man, it's just given me a massively new perspective, this book. It might not even be real, but it makes me feel so much better about this whole situation. And it even makes me excited about moving forward, because I know that if I'm feeling like this now, there's so many other people that are producing and creating that feel very similarly. And what's going to happen is that after having enough, they're going to be like, screw it, I'm out, I'm done. And it'll happen in a way, I don't know how long it'll take, but it will happen, where they all sort of form around the one area, and this amazing environment forms where every single person isn't demanding that one person does this, or you do this, or you have to give me this or this. They go and create stuff that they're passionate about, that they're excited about. Like the truck driver didn't want to be a truck driver. He wanted to go and do other stuff. So he's gone and do it. He's followed his passion. He's followed his bliss. And he's happy. Money, a number in an account isn't going to make you happy. What you get to do with it could. But a number by itself means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who gives a shit? Like, if you're locked in your house, you're in prison. Like, Steve Jobs didn't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. He was. Is. Like, you want to be able to use the wealth that you create. And to do that, you need to be looking after your health, but you need to be in a place that actually allows you to use it. Funnily enough, it's crazy that this is even in the conversation. You have to be somewhere that allows you to use it. Which is why I don't even want to. Genuinely, everything that I want to create, I don't want to give a cent to this country. I do not want to give 1 cent to this country, because it is so anti everything that I stand for and everything that I believe in. Why would I want to contribute 1 cent of tax dollars to a country like this that has turned into such a dictatorship and such a communist police state? It's disgusting. I would never support that. So my intention is to move 100% very quickly, as soon as possible. As soon as I've got a few investments that I've got to sort of settle. So it's at least 12 months away. But to move to a place that is actually conducive for people who want to produce and want to create, that is one of the most exciting prospects. And it's even thrilling to just think about that. Think about a place where, and it comes back to appreciation. You'll actually be appreciated rather than be abused. That's what it feels like. To be locked up as a prisoner, threatened with fines, harassed, all the sort of shit that they're doing. coerced medically. It's crazy. Why would you want to contribute to that in any way, shape, or form? I just don't at all. Not in any way. But if I went to a country that allowed me to express who I was and create the things I want to create, build wealth for myself, then yeah, I'd love to contribute to that country. And I wouldn't do it because they demand it. I'd do it because I wanted to. There's a big difference there. It's like when you want to give someone a gift, but they expect it. It's not a gift anymore. The expectation has ruined what you actually want to give. And that's, yeah, I just, I don't know if you got anything out of that, but it's just very interesting watching how these things are going. But there's a lot of things that will happen later on. And if you're a producer and if you're frustrated with the things that are happening, like there's going to be some really cool things that come from this. It's going to take a while, but there are going to be some pockets and places in this world that are going to be like absolute paradise after this. They're going to be amazing, because if you're a producer and you're not a person that thinks you're entitled to a job or a paycheck or whatever, you want to go out and work hard and create stuff for your own wealth, for yourself, and then other people naturally benefit from that. If you're one of those people, there's going to be some very cool stuff that's coming. And I think reading things like this, reading books like this, but also going back through history and having a look at some situations, because all the shit that's happening now, it's happened before, just people dressed up in different clothes. These are really cool things to see written by people, and it gives me a lot of hope, and it makes me feel a lot, even excited about life. That's crazy. I wouldn't think, being told that I'm a prisoner in my own house and my own country, that I'd be excited about life, right? But yeah, I am. I'm excited about the prospect of what could happen. It's pretty cool. So keep smiling, keep your chin up, keep producing, keep creating stuff. Go make yourself rich. See you on the next one.